Welcome back to Coxie Tutorials and Gameplay. This is going to be part 19 in our first person shooter tutorial series in Unity 5. In part 18 we actually made an ammo counter so that we can actually see how much ammunition our minigun is holding. And what we're going to do today is we're actually going to make a ammo box for the minigun and just make it so that when we walk over the ammo box, we collect 500 ammunition for the minigun. So we'll go ahead and we'll get started and we'll make this ammo box. We're going to be doing a fair few things today after we've made this ammo box, so we'll get this over with pretty quickly, but I'll explain the rest once we have done this first. So I'm going to put my ammo box inside this little bunker, and I'm just going to go to Game Object, 3D Object, and make a cube, and I'm just going to move this cube down, make sure it's on the ground, move it over here a little bit, and I'm just going to resize it so it kind of looks like a ammo box. You can put a texture or something on it, make it look a lot better than this, but just for now, because I want to get this done. So we've got our ammo box, and we should probably rename it and call it minigun ammo. Will do. For the box collider on the ammo box or the minigun ammo, click is trigger, and also we probably want to make this collider, which is the green thing going around it here. We probably want to make the collider a bit bigger so that it's easier to collect the ammunition, because at the moment the player has to actually walk into this collider to collect it once we've written the script, and you would have to literally be on top of this box to get the ammo, whereas if we move the collider out, say 3 on the X, 2 on the Y, and 2 on the Z, it'll be a lot easier. Like, we just have to, it's a lot easier to walk through the collider now. So I'll just adjust this height a little bit here on the Y, about there will be fine, and that is done. So go into the My Scripts folder and right click on Create JavaScript, and we'll call this ammo minigun. Okay, so open up the JavaScript in MonoDevelop or Visual Studio, and this is going to be quite a simple script. It's just going to be using 2 functions, so get rid of this. And these functions we have used, I think this is like the 3rd time we've used function on trigger enter and function on trigger exit. So function on trigger enter, the collider, that's of type collider, and then we want to say if we walk into the collider, so if the collider, which is the collider attached to us, dot tag is equal to player. So you should have your main character tagged as player. If you go into Unity, your FPS controller, and as you can see up here, mine is tagged as player. It must be tagged as player for this code to actually work. So if an object that walks into this collider is tagged as player, then this is going to happen. And we want to access the static variable script from last tutorial 18. So if you haven't watched tutorial 18, you'll need to watch that and set up your static variables script, which has this variable which we're about to access in it. So to access the variable in the static variable script, we type the name of the script, static variables dot, and then the variable we want to access, which was just ammo. We probably should have called it minigun ammo, but anyway, we'll have to name the different guns different ammo types, because we are going to be adding more guns into this game. So we're going to get the variable ammo in the static variable script, and we're going to make it so that when the player walks into the collider on the ammo box, their ammunition will refill to 500. And then we need to do what's going to happen if we walk out of the collider. So function on trigger exit, same as above, collider, make sure you spell it right, and then we just want to use this same line again. And then in this if statement, we just want to destroy the ammo box so that we can't keep collecting ammunition. So destroy game object with a lowercase g, and then how many seconds until it destroys, and I'll just make that 2 for now and see how that is. So that's basically it for this ammo pickup code. So just save that and then go back into Unity and select the ammo box and then drag the ammo minigun or whatever you called your script onto the ammo box. So now we should be fine to go ahead and collect some ammo. I've made a mistake here. And I didn't put another L in there. Okay, sorry about that. That was a pretty ordinary mistake to make. But anyway, so make sure you spell these right. The collider with 2 L's, obviously, and then go back into Unity and see if this works. So we're back in our game. I'll pick up the minigun. I'll have to take care of these guys so I don't get killed. Out. So we've got 94 ammunition now, and if we walk over here we will get 500, and that will disappear after 2 seconds. Okay, so that works fine. I do know I had a comment about our mouse cursor hide and lock, and I know that isn't working properly at the moment, so I'm going to fix that in the future, but it's not really that big a deal at the moment. So we'll do this. Okay, so there's a few more things that I want to get done before the end of this tutorial. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to make it so that when we die now, instead of the little box of you die come up on the screen, I'll just show you. We'll get the gun and we'll go over here. We'll let this guy kill us, and then you see we get this little you died in a box and our respawn button. We're going to change this so it's nice big red writing that says you died up here. And we're also going to do a few more things as well, because as you can see, when we get killed now from our respawn script, gets an error that says not set to an instance of an object. And the reason why we're getting this error is because we used to have our shoot script, our raycast shooting script, attached to the FPS controller, and our player respawn script used to access the raycast shooting script, and it used to use that script to disable the minigun when we died so that we could not shoot any longer. The problem is that we actually moved excuse me, the script to the minigun that we're actually holding. We actually put the raycast shooting script on our minigun because we want to be able to change shooting scripts on different guns so that every gun can have a different script. Okay, so what we're going to do to fix this is going to be quite easy, really. What we're going to do is we're going to grab the script off our minigun, and this is the weapon pickup script, which enables us to set our minigun active, or make it disappear, so that if this little tab here, see if I click that off, it makes disappear and then it makes it appear. So this script can actually switch this minigun from active to non-active. So what we can do is use this script so that when we die, it just sets active enable to false and the minigun will disappear. So click here to turn this script off, or just remove the component completely there if you want, and go to the FPS controller and lock the inspector, because we're going to open up our my scripts, and you can just get your weapon pickup script here and put it here. First of all, I've just noticed that this actually has a space in between the weapon and the pickup, and when I went to write the code, for this, it will actually throw errors, because when we try to access the script, you don't have a space, and it's not going to recognize this script because it has a space. You'll understand when we write the actual code. So if your weapon pickup has a space in between it, make sure there's no space, because we'll forget to put the space in between it when we write our code, I can guarantee. So no space, weapon pickup, move that onto the FPS controller, and then simply grab the minigun that's attached to the first person character as a child and place that in the weapon slot. Make sure you don't put the minigun that's on the ground in the weapon slot. Okay, so now we are going to make the UI for our You Died first, because that's going to be nice and quick and easy. So go to 2D, our canvas where we made our ammo UI last week, which is right there. We're going to use this again, and we'll just right click on our canvas, go to UI, text, we'll change the size of this. I'll just unlock the inspector. Make sure you unlock the inspector, otherwise it's not going to show the inspector of what we're selected on. So here's our text in the inspector, and change the name to, I'm just going to call it exactly what it is, You Died text. Okay, and then we'll resize this. So we'll go 500 by 200 for now. We can always adjust this, and then just move this up to the top of the screen where we want it, and go to anchors, left click on that, and then hold down shift, and you'll see when you hold down shift the little blue anchor comes up, and I'm going to anchor it to the top center, which is that one there, and there's the anchor. And now we're just going to change this text to You Died, and we're going to make that a whole lot bigger, 300. And the text, you can't see it right now, but if we come down here to best fit, click on that, and then it should appear. Click on this resizing tool, and I'll just move the bottom up like that a little bit, and then I'm just going to click on the color here, and I'm going to make that bright red, just like on Dark Souls, because that looks cool. So alright, we've got that, and now we need to actually change the script around a little bit so that we can actually turn this text off and on when we die or when we respawn. So we'll open up all the scripts we're going to use, and the first script we're going to be using is the player respawn. So now we also want to open up our weapon pickup script. I'm just opening them both up so we've got them both here up the top, and you guys can get a better understanding of what we're doing and what's going on. So right, getting back to the You Died UI, what we're going to do first so we can use Unity Engine UI is import unityengine.ui semicolon, and then underneath that we're going to do our variable for our You Died text, and that is of type text. So this is going to give us the slot on our script to drag the UI that we just made into this slot. What else do we need to do? We also need to do a variable for the script that we're going to access. So we want to access this script, and the reason why we're going to access this, as I said, is we want to access this variable here, the weapon, and we're going to set active to false, and that is when the player dies, so the minigun will just disappear. Okay, so var what is it? Weapon pickup script, and then the name of the actual script, which is weapon pickup. And that is why I made sure there was no space between weapon and pickup, so that when I wrote it here, I didn't have it wrong, because if there was no space when we wrote it here and there was a space in the actual script name, then this would not work. I wouldn't be able to find it. Okay, so now we should go down to function start. Oh, that's one more thing. This shoot script, this is the one we're actually accessing to stop our gun from shooting when we died before. We don't need this anymore, so you can just delete yours. I'm just going to comment it out so that you guys can see exactly what lines you need to take out. So that's it there, the shoot script. And then again, we have the shoot script. And we could actually change this to get component in children and still get hold of this Raycar shooting script. But the way we're going to do it by just making the minigun disappear altogether is just a lot better way of doing it, I think. So we're going to do it that way. So this line of code you can remove as well. And then underneath that, we are going to say weapon pickup script equals game object dot get component, and then the name of the script again, weapon pickup. And also in function start, we're going to need to make sure that our you died UI doesn't appear on the screen at the start of the game, because at the moment, if we run the game, you died will just be on the top of our screen. So we need to make sure that that is not enabled. So you died text dot enabled equals false. And then in our function update where the player is dead, there's that shoot script again. You can just get rid of that. And instead we are just going to say weapon pickup script dot I need to access the variable first, sorry. So weapon pickup script will allow us to access our script, and then in our weapon pickup script we need to access this variable here, the weapon. So dot the weapon set active, yeah, dot set active, and we'll make that false. So when the player dies, the gun is going to disappear. Okay, so now what I want to do is the actual call the actual UI itself that we just made. So this was the old UI that we're using for the you died. Just get rid of that. I'm just going to comment that out, and instead all we're going to type is you died text dot enabled equals true. So when we die, it will show the you died text, and then when we respawn, we also want to make sure that that comes back, or sorry, that disappears again. So I'll just copy this, and then down here in respawn player, we want to get rid of this shoot script, and we need to paste this line in here and just change true to false. So it disappears once again. So save that, that's fine. And then go into our weapon pickup script, and we just need to change in here, this bit here, because this on trigger enter was only working if the player actually walked into the collider, and this script was actually on the minigun that we picked up. Now this script is on the player. We need to tag the minigun as minigun instead and put that here. So go back into your game. I've already tagged mine, I'm pretty sure. So the actual, not that minigun, sorry, the actual minigun that's on the ground, the one that we pick up, we need to make sure that is tagged as minigun. If yours isn't tagged as minigun, just add a tag and call it minigun with a capital M, and then select that in here. So back to the script, we're just going to change this to minigun. The only problem with doing this way is now, because this script's attached to the player, once we walk into the minigun collider, it will actually destroy the player now. So it will destroy us. So we don't want that. I will change it to destroy the actual minigun, but I'm still up in the air whether to destroy the actual minigun when we pick it up or not. So we'll just see how it goes. Okay, so save that script, and that should all be fine now. Go back into the game. We've got no errors, that's good. On the first person controller, in our player respawn script, this is the variable we made for our text. So now we're going to get our udied text that we made and just drop that in the udied text slot. So that should be fine, and yeah, we'll just test out the game and we'll have a look. I'm just going to turn the sound down a bit. It's quite loud. Okay, so we'll pick up our minigun, and as you can see now, the minigun actually still stays there. Just kill these guys. I just want to make sure everything actually works. So that's good. We're not getting any more ammo off the minigun. I just want to quickly see if I can get some ammo before this guy kills me. We can still pick up our ammo, and if he kills me, now our udied text comes up on the screen. We push escape to get our little cursor back, and we can respawn at our respawn point. Without our minigun, we still have our ammo, and we can go back and pick up that minigun again. That's why I didn't want to destroy it. So yeah, that's all working quite well now. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I'm sorry it went a bit longer, but we just had to fix up a few things. In the next tutorial, we'll be more than likely adding another weapon. I was going to do a tutorial on making a shotgun in Blender, so you guys let me know if you'd rather actually model our own gun in Blender. I'll do it pretty simply, or we can just import more weapon models and use them instead. So whatever you guys would prefer, let me know as soon as possible. And yeah, I'll see you in the next tutorial. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Cheers.